Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's meeting of the Assembly Committee on Growth and Infrastructure. Would the committee secretary please call the roll?
Assembly members Backus,
Present.
Brown May,
Here.
Carter,
Present.
Dickman,
Here.
Gallant, Gurr,
Here.
Karas,
Here.
Moore,
Here.
Wynn,
Here.
Urick,
Here.
Chair Watts.
And I am here. Thank you. Thank you for everyone joining us today, either here in Carson City, down in Las Vegas, or anyone joining us virtually or by phone. A few housekeeping items before we get started. If you would like to provide testimony today, please sign in at the table in the back of the room. If you have a business card, please provide one. That helps us as we are compiling the minutes for these meetings. When speaking, please turn on the microphone before you begin. State your name clearly for the record every time before you speak, and then turn the microphone off once you have finished. We will have one public comment period. That will be at the end of today's meeting. We'll ask anyone making public comment to limit their remarks to 2 minutes. Anyone wishing to provide testimony or public comment by phone today can dial 888-475-4499, and when prompted for the meeting ID, enter 899-6487-7854, and then press pound. You can find that information on our agendas, which are also posted on the Nevada Legislature's website. I will note for the secretary, please excuse Assemblymember Gallant. She is presenting another bill. If we happen to still be going when she arrives, we'll mark her present then. Otherwise, we will mark her as excused. We have both hearings and a work session today. Given that all members are present currently, we will do our work session first, and then we will do our bill hearings. Also, we will not be conducting a work session on Senate Bill 91 today, and we will not be conducting the hearing on Senate Bill 180 today. So we will be going through our work session with SB 416, SB 426, and SB 442. Then we will conduct our hearing on Senate Bill 80. So with that, we will go ahead and open the work session. I will turn it over to our policy analyst, Ms. Latham, to walk us through the work session document for starting with Senate Bill 416.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, Keely Latham, Policy Analyst with the Legislative Council Bureau. A reminder that as nonpartisan staff, I cannot advocate for or against any measure that this committee will consider. Senate Bill 416 revises provisions relating to the statewide sobriety and drug monitoring program. The bill is sponsored by the Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure on behalf of the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Growth and Infrastructure and was heard on May 1st. Senate Bill 416 revises provisions relating to the Nevada 24/7 Sobriety and Drug Monitoring Program Act. The bill replaces the current restricted driver's license available to program participants with a new 24/7 privilege, which allows participants to drive without previously imposed limitations, provided they comply with program requirements. The bill clarifies that alcohol and drug testing may be conducted through certain methods approved under certain federal regulations. Additionally, the bill expands the list of sanctions for violations of program rules to include increased monitoring, supervision, treatment, or testing. There were no amendments proposed for this measure. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Latham. Members, any questions on this bill? Okay, seeing none, I would accept a motion to do pass Senate Bill 416.
So moved.
Got a motion from Vice Chair Carter, a second from Assemblymember Karas. All right. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. I'll assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Karas. We'll now move on to Senate Bill 426.
Keely Latham, for the record, Senate Bill 426 establishes provisions relating to the Lake Tahoe Basin Scenic Byway Corridor Recreation Safety Zone. The bill is sponsored by the Senate Committee on Natural Resources on behalf of the Legislative Committee for the Review and Oversight of the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency and the Marlette Lake Water System, and was heard in this committee on May 6th. Senate Bill 426 creates the safety zone consisting of any portion of US Highway 50, Nevada State Route 28, State Route 431, and State Route 307 within the Lake Tahoe region and is either directly connected to a recreational area or has been designated as a scenic byway. The bill authorizes Nevada's Department of Transportation and local law enforcement agencies to establish certain traffic control measures and parking restrictions and prohibitions within the safety zone, and to take certain other actions with respect to parking, including entering into agreements with certain other public entities for the development of public parking, providing parking enforcement, and issuing parking citations. There is an amendment proposed by Senator Daley, specifies traffic calming does not include measures or combinations of measures that reduce the existing number of travel lanes in either direction on US Highway 50. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions? Seeing none, I would accept a motion to amend and do pass Senate Bill 426.
So moved.
I have a motion from Vice Chair Carter, a second from Assemblymember Nguyen. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. And Assemblymember Dickman, would you like to take that floor statement? Thank you. We'll move on to Senate Bill 442 now.
Keely Latham for the record. Senate Bill 442 requires the Public Utilities Commission of Nevada to establish certain reporting requirements. The bill is sponsored by the Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure on behalf of the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Growth and Infrastructure and was heard in this committee on May 1st. Senate Bill 442 requires the PUCN to adopt regulations requiring public utilities to make available to the public a quarterly report that includes the total number of monthly residential service terminations during the previous quarter and aggregated information, including the zip codes of affected residences. There were no amendments for this measure. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any questions on this item? Seeing none, I would accept a motion to do pass Senate Bill 442.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion from Vice Chair Carter, a second from everybody. We'll go ahead and give that to Assemblymember Gurr. Any discussion on that motion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. And I will assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Brown May. Thank you. All right, that concludes our work session for today. We will now move on to our bill hearing. So with that, I will open the hearing on Senate Bill 80, which revises certain provisions governing motor vehicles. Seems you're a little bit early this time, Mr. Sever, to the table.
Hello, Chair, committee
Welcome.
members. Sean Sever from the Nevada DMV. We are not neutral today on this bill. We appreciate you hearing our SB 80 bill today that deals with Nevada consumers buying stolen VIN-switched vehicles and tampering with vehicle and engine admission devices. Picture yourself buying a vehicle off of Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. You get a smoking deal on it, and when you bring it down to the DMV inspection station, our staff member tells you that the VIN number on the vehicle doesn't match the one that's on the title, and it's been switched. They inform you that you just purchased a stolen vehicle and you're out however many dollars you spent on this car. The DMV would like to help prevent this from happening by allowing us to inspect vehicles on licensed and unlicensed lots in Nevada, which is covered in Section 1. Section 6 of the bill talks about the DMV needing a court order first and then using a PIN register or trap and trace device to access a stolen vehicle's infotainment system, which is where we can see where phone calls have been made to, and which sometimes leads to a place with a lot of stolen vehicles. Section 7 deals with emission system bypass devices that are installed on vehicles to get them to pass smog tests. You fail your smog, a device is installed on your vehicle to help you pass smog, and you pass. However, the condition in your engine that was causing the failed test still exists. SB 80 went through quite a lot of work on the Senate side to make the bill workable for everyone, and we have an amendment today that further clarifies it. I also have Mr. Warren Hardy here, who has another amendment to further clarify Section 7, which we are okay with and consider friendly. We do believe this bill will help Nevadans buy fewer stolen vehicles and help prevent people from tampering with vehicle emission systems. Thank you for hearing it today, and we have our CED Administrator, J.D. Decker, in Las Vegas if there are any questions.
All right. Thank you for the brief presentation. I appreciate it. Mr. Hardy, is there anything that you'd like to add this time?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I will endeavor to be brief. First of all, I want to thank the DMV for working with us on this bill. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that this current administration and Chief Decker, the DMV, has done more on enforcement than any recollection I have of the DMV in my career. As an industry, we're constantly asking for the current laws to be enforced and for them to go after the bad guys with the tools they have. They do that better than anybody in my experience. We are very interested and passionate about getting the DMV the tools they need to do that job better. In this bill, as originally drafted, we tried to deal with some language regarding the exchange of engines. Old vehicles put new engines, and sometimes vice versa. We have the hobbyist as well. And we tried for, I'm going to say, months to try to find language. This was complicated significantly by the fact that we're in a very interesting time in the auto industry right now. We're seeing there's now businesses popping up that put electric engine or electric motors in classic vehicles. I also received a call from the Nevada Department of Environmental Protection today telling me they have a program that does that and other things. And so we were not successful in getting where we wanted to be on dealing with how these things were dealt with on an engine exchange. So what we've done is come up with language, and that's the amendment that I have proposed that I hope you have in front of you, that simply says if you swap an engine and that new engine comes with smog devices and smog equipment, that equipment has to be operational in the new vehicle. Takes out all the language that we tried to put in about engine classifications and all the other things that just got too cumbersome. But we believe this will clarify that if you do swap an engine of any kind, the smog equipment has to be operational. And I think the EPA is here, but I told them I would clarify what we intend for your drafters in this amendment. And it's simply to say, if you look at my amendment, subsection 7, subsection 2C, any device for control of a motor vehicle that is included with the engine being inserted in the motor vehicle is operational. Obviously, there's no such smog equipment associated with an electric vehicle, and a propane switchover, whatever else they might be doing, is completely different. So it is not our intention to say if you have a new engine in your vehicle, it has to have smog equipment. It says if the engine is equipped with smog equipment, it has to be functional. I probably just made that much less clear, but I'll be happy to work with your drafters to make sure we get that right for the NDEP. Thank you, Chair. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hardy. Once a senator, always a senator. All right, I believe that concludes the presentation. Members, questions? We'll start with Vice Chair Carter.
Thank you, Chair Watts. It was in regards to the amendment. Is the smog equipment based off the serial number on the motor, or is it based off of, because I think you get what I'm getting. You could take a Corvette motor out, strip it all down, and then you buy it stripped down. Does it have to have the original equipment manufacturer smog controls on it?
Thank you, Chair. That's a great question, Assemblymember Carter. That's the intent. I mean, in the early days of smog, you could actually, Warren Hardy for the record, thank you, Sergeant at Arms, Wynn. In the initial, you could strip the smog material off and the engine would still be functional. Today, engines aren't functional without the equipment. So yes, Assemblymember, the intent is that the equipment that comes with that engine has to be on that engine and when you install it and replace it. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, additional questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much. We will now move to testimony. We'll begin with testimony in support of Senate Bill 80. Anyone wishing to provide testimony in support, please come forward.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, Andy McKay. I'm the Executive Director of the Nevada Franchise Auto Dealers Association. We started working on this bill with the department, I think, and JD could probably clarify it, over a year ago, I think. And it's gone through, as Mr. Hardy indicated, multiple iterations. I think it's important to note that, A, the draft amendment that is in front of you from Mr. Hardy does in fact, Senator Hardy, rather, excuse me, Mr. Chair, accomplishes precisely what I think we are aiming for at the beginning, and that is to prevent people from cheating on the emissions devices. But what we didn't want to do, and we thought we were there, and then Senator Hardy astutely found out on one of the exchange parts, was his clients and the hobbyists were going to get pinched on it. And we didn't want to have that happen. So we went back and forth, had some problems with some language yesterday, and I think that that we're there. Did talk to Mr. Dragoni with NDEP. As you know, Mr. Chair, we were intimately involved last session in the Clean Buses program and the drafting on it. I don't believe that this is going to do anything to impair that. That's just my humble opinion. I haven't had to take a deep dive, but I do think that that's important to put it on the record. If it does, that is not the intent. We fully support that program, and I think we support the bill, frankly, as drafted, but in amended form better. So I'm available if the committee has any questions on how it ultimately impacts our members, but we do engine exchanges literally on a daily basis by the thousands every year. In fact, there's going to be a massive engine. I don't know how many. GM just recalled 760,000 6.2 liter engines, and probably of that, probably 25,000 of them are in Nevada. So this happens on a daily basis. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Chair Watts and members of the committee. For the record, Miranda Hoover with 3C House, representing the Automotive Services Alliance of Nevada. And between our smog check companies and our third-party DMV service companies, we are very excited to support this bill. We believe it is good for consumers and also helps the DMV with enforcement. So thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else coming forward for support, either in Carson or Las Vegas, AVH, would anyone like to provide testimony in support of SB 80 by phone?
To testify in support of Senate Bill 80, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers in support.
Thank you. We'll now move to testimony in opposition of Senate Bill 80. Anyone wishing to provide opposition testimony, please come forward. Seeing none, AVH, can we please check the phones?
To testify in opposition to Bill SB 80, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you. We'll now move to testimony in neutral on Senate Bill 80.
Good afternoon, Chair Watts and members of the committee. My name is Danilo Dragoni. I'm Deputy Administrator with the Nevada Division of Environmental Protection. The division is neutral to the bill as proposed and amended. As Senator Hardy and Mr. McKay had already mentioned, the division just wanted, excuse me, just wanted to be sure that the language is compatible with the Clean Truck and Buses incentive program, which was approved in the past legislative session. So we are available to work with the proponents and the proponent of the amendment to make sure. That's it. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dragoni. It's good to make sure that we've got that on the record, and so that's clear for our staff as well. And if there are any questions that arise, we'll make sure that we all work together to ensure that the language and the intent are aligned. So thank you. Seeing nobody else coming forward in neutral, AVH, would anyone like to provide neutral testimony by phone on SB 80?
Testify in neutral to Senate Bill 80, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
All right, would Okay, we have closing comments waived off. Oh, actually, I would like to ask you to come up very quickly, Mr. Sever. And since we're talking about emissions issues, I think it's a good time for you to also discuss the systems and initiatives that the department already has in place if someone suspects there is a vehicle that is not compliant with emission standards. So could you provide that information for the members of the committee and for the public as well?
Yes, sure. This is Sean Sever from the Nevada DMV. We have a smog spotter program at the DMV. So if you see a smoking vehicle, you can report them on our website and we will go investigate it. And that is available also in the rural areas as well. So yeah, smoking vehicles are not good, polluting the environment, so let us know. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And now with that, thank you very much, and we will close the hearing on Senate Bill 80. That brings us to the last item on our agenda today, which is public comment. If anyone would like to provide public comment, either here in Carson City or down in Las Vegas, please come forward. Seeing nobody at this time, AVH, would anyone like to provide public comment by phone?
To provide public comment, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. We have no callers for public comment.
Thank you very much. That concludes our business for today. Another easy breezy meeting for our committee, under a half hour this time. Our next meeting will be on Tuesday, May 13th, probably at 1:30. Thank you all. We're adjourned.